what's going on, guys? Spidey here, or Daniel from PotatoLifeGaming, and today we're going to be taking a look at each of the different Doomblade imprint sets. I actually managed to get all 9, which is all 3 sets a while back, and figured since not everyone has these, I could make a video and, display each set, give you guys an idea more or less how they work. Also, I think this video could end up being pretty long, so I'm going to do my best of just trying to say, what I think about each imprint set and how I think it could be beneficial in game. So, for simplicity, I went ahead and removed all of my minor imprints, and we're going to start with the top row, which is the ranged imprint set, also known as Flying Blade. So let me make sure I actually have my ranged skill build equipped. It's pretty important. Alright, and we'll go ahead and go into Training Ground. Okay, so after using this imprint set more, I've actually seen that it's a pretty viable option, if you prefer to play the game this way, if you like ranged characters, or, if you just think this playstyle in general is more fun. So, to be honest, I've actually had a ton of fun using this imprint set. I usually only use it for, power leveling people, but I did upload a while back a video showing ST, Abelard, and Titan with this set, and it really wasn't that much slower than the infinite cutting, so it is a pretty viable option, and it does have decent damage. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the actual imprint set. Okay, so 1 out of 3 set bonus. Okay, so it will add additional Phantom Cross. I'll go ahead and show you guys on the screen a display of the regular Phantom Cross, and then I'll show you guys the imprinted version. Okay, so that's the imprinted version. You can see it's a pretty straightforward difference. Instead of shooting 1, it shoots 3. Pretty nice for clearing rooms of mobs and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the second set bonus. Alright, so the second set effect for Flying Blade creates additional dancing shadows and gives ultra state during its use. So I'll go ahead and show you again the original version of dancing shadows, and then we'll go ahead and look at the imprinted version.
Just a single blade.
Alright, so pretty straightforward. Just like Phantom Cross, instead of shooting 1, it now shoots 3. And this actually does a ton more damage than the previous Dancing Shadows without the imprint set. So I think with this skill set and with the imprint set, Dancing Shadows is actually going to be the bulk of your damage, or should be. Kind of similar to, I guess, Shatterquake for Cat's Paw, because it has a really low cooldown and it's really powerful, so you can just keep using it over and over. Alright, so last we have the 3 out of 3 effect, which simply enough, if you use Purgatory Wave, it's going to reset the cooldown for Phantom Cross and Dancing Shadows, meaning you could just keep unloading all of your ranged skills back to back. So I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like really quick. Okay, so I also like starting off my ranged combo with Phantom Cross, and then going into Dancing Shadow and then Purgatory, just because Purgatory has a quicker cast time. Using it after Dancing Shadows. Yeah, you can see that pretty clearly there. He doesn't have that, wind-up thing that he does, he just kind of shoots it out. Alright, well, that's really all there is to this imprint set, so guess we'll go ahead and head to town so we can look at the next one. Okay, so the next major imprint set we have is the middle row, known as Cutting Blade, and this is the one that's going to be giving you the infinite cuts. This is the one most Doomblades go for, and let me go ahead and switch back to my regular skill build. Alright, let's go into Training Ground, and I'll try to display this for you guys. Okay, so I want to start with the 3 out of 3 effect for this imprint, just because it's really simple. Anytime you hit a crit, it's going to give you a curse stack. Doesn't matter what skill you use, anytime you hit a crit, it's going to give you a curse stack. Meaning, if you keep critting your cutting waves, you can just keep using cutting waves over and over endlessly. And that's why it's called infinite cutting. So I'm going to go ahead and waste this just to show you guys. I'm going to use 1 Dancing Shadow, and even if your Dark Elemental procs, it's actually going to, if it crits, it's going to give you more curse stacks. So I went from 0 to 4 there. So it's literally any crit. It doesn't have to be any specific skill. Okay, so going back to the 1 out of 3 effect for this, pretty simple. Every cutting wave you use is going to give you 3% crit damage, max of 3 stacks. So the buff only lasts for 5 seconds, but it'll give you a total of 9% more crit damage. I don't think this is actually super useful. especially if you're already close to the 400% crit damage cap. But if you're not, you could do something like use 3 cuts before you start your combo, and then you can see the buff actually right here. It actually gives you enough time to use a ton of attacks in between, so it could be something you could use if you don't have a ton of crit damage. But I mainly think that the buff is in place for people who spam cutting wave like this, because the buff will just keep refreshing. I mean, as long as you keep cutting, you're always going to have that extra 9% crit damage. Okay, so yes, the infinite cutting is OP, but let's take a look at the 2 out of 3 effect, which in my opinion is probably one of the best things about this imprint. The bonus gives you 5% more attack power increase after using Deadly Draw, Soul Steal, Spectral, Spirit Barrage, or Shadow Stride. Okay, so it stacks up to 3 times, meaning you can have up to 15% more attack power for the duration of 30 seconds. Now that is pretty OP, because especially considering you could use all the lower DPS attacks, like Spirit Barrage and Shadow Stride before you even go in the dungeon, you're already going to have that 10% attack ready, meaning you can start your combo already with the full 15% attack power. Alright, so that's really all there is to this imprint. It's pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and head to town and check out the last imprint set. Okay, so here we are. So this last imprint set is probably very easily the least popular imprint set across Doomblades, but it's called Cursed Blade, and let's go ahead and just take a look at it. Alright, so let's start with the 1 out of 3 effect. Pretty straightforward. Literally just each dancing shadow swing regens 1 curse stack, so you actually don't even have to land the dancing shadow. All you have to do is use the dancing shadow attack, and it'll give you a curse stack. Okay, so obviously you can only hold 5 curse stacks, so dancing shadow has 5 swings. I mean, you can literally regen from 0 to 5 just from using dancing shadows 1 time. So it's pretty handy. Alright, so let's take a look at the second set effect. The second effect increases damage of Deadly Draw and Shadow Stride per curse stack. Doesn't really say by how much it increases the damage, but the more curse stacks you have, the more damage you're going to do with those skills. So we could actually do a quick test. Let's test both skills with 0 stacks, and then I'll test them both with 5 stacks. Alright, so we have a 154 mil, 151 mil, 159 mil. Alright, so that's pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and regen our stacks.
Just
So
a single
fancy.
blade.
Alright. 240 mil. Alright, so that's a considerable increase. 230 mil. Alright, then 240 mil again. Alright, so you can see it's a pretty significant increase, especially for Shadow Stride. So let's go ahead and take a look at Deadly Draw and see how much that one increases. Alright, so I saw roughly 200 mil per thing. 206 mil. I didn't see the second one. 190 and 196. 195 and 204. 188 and 193. Alright, so now let's use our handy dandy dancing shadows and
Just a single blade.
get our stacks and try it again. 275 and 193. So the first swing was really strong. 160 or 264 and then 212. 270 and 201. 277 and 205. Alright, so that's a pretty considerable increase. It's a shame that it doesn't really say the exact percent increase per stack, but you can see pretty clearly it does its job. It actually gives each skill quite a bit more damage. Alright, so now that we've checked the damage, pretty decent. Let's go ahead and look at the 3 out of 3 set. Alright, so it doesn't look super useful when you're already close to crit damage cap, but each curse stat gives you 5% more crit damage for, I guess, a total of 25% more crit damage. So let's go ahead and check that really quick. Alright, so I've got my crit damage right there. Yep, that's
Just a single
definitely
blade.
5 per stack. And that's a permanent buff, so as long as you have those 5 stacks, you're going to have that extra crit damage the entire time. But once you start using Cutting Wave, it's going to start dropping. But I mean, I guess it's not really that big of a deal if you're already close to crit damage cap. Alright, well, I think that's pretty much all there is to the Cursed Blade Imprint set. It doesn't really seem super useful, so that's probably why it's not very popular among Doomblades, but the 1 out of 3 and 2 out of 3 effects for the set are pretty decent. Maybe if you had, say, 2 out of 3 Flying Blade Imprint paired with 1 out of 3 Cursed Blade, it could be pretty good for I don't know, someone who uses a lot of range skills and likes using Cutting Wave, because you'd have the stronger version of Dancing Shadows and Phantom Cross, and you'd be able to regen all your stacks with the OP version of Dancing Shadows. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and end there. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Hopefully I did a decent job of displaying each imprint as well as their effects. Go ahead and leave a comment down below which one you use and which one you like the best, or which one you're trying to get if you haven't gotten one yet. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!